"Careful, it hurts," she whispered. The rancher stopped, then murmured, "It'll be over soon." Its crystalline skin shimmered faintly, and every pulse seemed like a heartbeat in time with the planet itself. The rancher had never felt so responsible for a life so fragile and alien. Lyra crouched beside the alien, her gloved hands moving with care as she examined the cracks in its skin. "Its injuries are deeper than I thought," she said softly. "The serum I carry, human-derived nanites, can heal it, but it's risky. The process will be painful even for you holding it, and it might react unpredictably." Jace frowned, gripping the edge of his crate. "Unpredictable how?" she hesitated. "Its body reacts to stress and pain by releasing energy, strong energy. It can burn, shock, or even harm someone holding it if you're not careful. But if it survives the process, it'll recover fully. It'll live." Jace looked down at the alien. Its tiny body pulsed with faint light, trembling slightly. The creature's eyes, or what seemed like eyes glowing faintly under its crystalline surface, met his. In them he saw fear and trust at the same time. It knew he was its only hope. He swallowed hard. "We don't have a choice then, we do it." Lyra nodded, her hands trembling slightly, though she kept her voice calm. "I'll guide you, just be ready." Jace rose, adjusting his grip on the alien. Its small weight was deceptively heavy, almost as if the energy inside it pressed outward. He felt a surge of something he hadn't felt in a long time. Responsibility, yes, but also courage. This wasn't a storm to survive or a herd to guide. This was life itself, fragile and beautiful, and it was in his hands. "Okay," he whispered. "Let's start." Lyra carefully prepared the serum injector. Tiny nanites programmed to repair the alien's broken cells filled the chamber. She glanced at Jace. "Once I inject it, its body will react. It will try to resist. That's normal. Don't let go no matter what happens. Trust me." Jace nodded. He could feel the alien's pulse quicken, sensing the tension in the room. The creature shivered violently when Lyra touched the injector to its crystalline skin. A sharp flash of blue light shot outward, grazing the edge of Jace's forearm. Pain stabbed through him, white-hot and electric, but he held the alien close, whispering softly, it's okay, I've got you." The alien convulsed, thrashing slightly, its light flickering wildly. Jace's hands burned where its energy flared, but he refused to let go. Sweat dripped down his face, mixing with the dust and grime of the plains still clinging to his skin. "Almost done," Lyra said calmly, though her hands shook slightly. She pressed the injector gently, and a stream of nanites entered the alien's body. The alien screamed, though it was not a human sound but a high-pitched, crystalline cry that shook the room. Jace gritted his teeth. Every instinct told him to pull back to escape the burning pain in his hands and arms, but he didn't. He held tighter, letting the alien's energy flow through him. The creature's pulse began to slow, its thrashing became less violent, though occasional flashes of light still lanced from its body. Minutes stretched like hours. Jace's arms were trembling, muscles screaming in protest, but he didn't release the alien. He whispered continuously, trying to calm it, trying to make it understand that he was there and it was safe. Finally, the alien stilled. Its light softened, pulsing gently like a calm heartbeat. Jace dropped to his knees, hands shaking, pain radiating from every muscle. He was exhausted, drained, but relief flooded him. The creature had survived the serum. Lyra placed a hand on his shoulder. "You did it," she said softly. "It's stable now. The nanites are repairing its cells. It'll recover fully over the next few hours. She hesitated. "We saved it." Jace looked down at the alien. Its body shimmered softly, the glowing veins now steady and even. It lifted its head slightly, crystalline eyes focusing on him. The rancher felt something strange, a connection, electric and real, as if the creature was aware not just of his presence but of his intent, his courage, and his heart. "You're alive," Jace whispered. "And you're going to be okay." For the first time, the alien responded, not with movement but with light. Its glow pulsed gently, almost rhythmically, in sync with Jace's heartbeat. He realized that it was a kind of communication, a silent acknowledgement of trust. Lyra watched quietly. "It's sensing you," she said. "This species can form bonds with those who show courage and empathy. You held it through pain and fear. You earned its trust." Jace laughed softly, the sound raw with exhaustion. "Just a rancher doing what a rancher does," he muttered, but Lyra shook her head. "No," she said firmly. "This is more than that. Humans, we endure, we survive. We act when others might hesitate. That's why they can trust us. That's why this creature can trust you." Jace felt pride rising, warm and quiet, stronger than the pain in his arms. All his years on harsh worlds, all his struggles with storms and predators, had led to this moment. He had faced danger countless times, but never like this, holding the life of something entirely alien, dependent on him completely. Hours passed in quiet observation. The alien's glow began to stabilize completely, and Jace could feel its energy settling. He leaned back against the wall, finally allowing his exhaustion to catch up. Lyra tended to minor injuries on the alien, her touch precise and careful, repairing fractures and guiding the nanite's work. "Do you ever wonder," Jace said quietly, "what it's thinking? If it knows anything about us?" Lyra paused. "It knows more than we realize. They are highly intelligent, not just instinct-driven, and they can sense emotions, intentions, morality even. That's why this bond is possible. You've proven yourself capable." Jace chuckled, shaking his head in disbelief. "A rancher proving morality to a glowing alien. Never thought I'd see the day." Lyra smiled faintly. "Morality, courage, empathy, those are the things that matter in survival, Jace. Not size, strength, or numbers. Humans, we survive because of those things. That's why you're here, holding this creature instead of letting it die." The alien stirred slightly, pushing its small body against Jace's chest. Its glow pulsed gently in time with his heartbeat. He understood the message: trust, connection, gratitude. Suddenly, a distant rumble shook the shelter. Jace's eyes snapped to the entrance. The wind outside shifted unnaturally, carrying the sound of engines or something mechanical moving across the plains. Lyra's eyes narrowed. "They're coming," she said quietly. "Hunters, the ones who were tracking it, if they find it here." She didn't need to finish the sentence. The threat was clear. Jace tightened his grip on the alien. Pain flared in his hands again as residual energy pulsed, but he ignored it. "We'll stop them," he said firmly. "We have to. We can't let anything happen to it now." Lyra nodded. "We'll need to move fast. There's a canyon east of here, natural cover, and a small outpost I know of. It's isolated, hidden, reinforced. We can keep it safe there while it recovers." Jace glanced down at the alien, still trembling slightly. "You ready?" he whispered. The creature's glow pulsed once in response. That was all the answer he needed. Carefully, Jace lifted the alien again, holding it close. Its weight was lighter now, almost as if it trusted him enough to stop fighting. Lyra led the way, guiding him toward the canyon. The wind carried the scent of dust and iron, the harsh reality of Iridia 9 pressing against them, but Jace felt a strange exhilaration. He wasn't just surviving anymore. He was protecting life, bridging worlds. As they moved, the alien's glow illuminated the rocky terrain, revealing dangers hidden in the shadows. Jace navigated carefully, relying on instincts honed by years of ranching and survival on harsh planets. Every step was measured, every movement deliberate. Hours later, they reached the canyon. The narrow walls provided shelter from the wind and sandstorms. Jace gently laid the alien on a soft bed of cloth and synthetic fibers Lyra had prepared. Its glow pulsed slowly, rhythmically, no longer erratic. "You did well," Lyra said softly. "It's safe for now." Jace leaned against the canyon wall, exhaustion washing over him. The alien stirred slightly, lifting its small head to look at him. Its glow pulsed gently, almost like a heartbeat. In that moment, Jace realized something profound. Humans were not just survivors. They were protectors, guardians, capable of compassion and courage beyond the harshness of the universe. And in that quiet canyon on a planet that had once seemed hostile and endless, Jace knew one thing with certainty. He would not fail. Not now. Not ever. Outside, the wind howled, the red dust swirling like ghosts across the plains. Inside, a human, a woman, and a fragile alien shared a quiet, unspoken understanding. The battle was only beginning. But for the first time, hope glowed brightly, stronger than fear. The canyon was quiet, though the red dust of Iridia 9 still swirled faintly at its edges. Jace Corbin sat against the rock wall, his arms sore from holding the alien, but his heart was steady. The creature rested on the soft bed of synthetic fibers, its glowing veins pulsing gently. Each pulse seemed to echo with gratitude or maybe recognition for the human who had risked everything to save it. Lyra crouched beside the alien, her gloved hands moving over its crystalline surface, scanning for any lingering fractures. "Its body is healing faster than I expected," she said softly. "The nanites are doing their job, but it's reacting to more than just the serum now." "Something else is happening." Jace tilted his head, curious. "What do you mean?" "It's sensing you," she said. "Not just your presence, your touch, but your thoughts, your emotions. This species can form a connection with those who show courage and empathy. You've held it through fear and pain, it trusts you fully." Jace glanced down at the alien, its crystalline eyes soft, glowing, focused on him. He felt a warmth in his chest, strange and profound, as if the tiny being was reaching into him, seeing his intentions, his thoughts, even his fears. He shivered. This wasn't just trust. It was communication of the deepest kind. The alien stirred, lifting a small limb toward him. The glow of its veins pulsed more brightly, and Jace instinctively reached out, letting his fingers brush lightly against its translucent surface. A sudden shock, soft, harmless, ran through him like a ripple of energy connecting their minds. He staggered back slightly, astonished. It just reached out," Lyra whispered. "It's trying to communicate. They do this to bond with those they trust. It can feel your emotions, even read them in a way." Jace's breathing quickened. "So, it knows me." "Yes," Lyra said. "And you know it, but this bond, it's fragile. If fear or anger dominates, it could retreat or worse, react defensively. You have to remain calm, focused, steady." Jace nodded, taking a deep breath. "All right, let's talk then." He leaned closer, placing a hand gently on the alien's side. "You're safe now. No one's going to hurt you, I promise." He spoke slowly, deliberately, letting the rhythm of his words guide the creature. For a moment nothing happened and his heart skipped a beat. Then the glow of its veins softened, pulsing slowly in time with his heartbeat. The rancher felt something strange, a flood of emotion, memories, and impressions he hadn't expected. Not words exactly, but images, flashes of a different world, crystalline structures like the creature's own body, vast fields under twin suns, and fear. Fear of hunters, of capture, of death. He realized that the alien had been running for a long time across the galaxy, pursued by forces beyond human understanding. "You've been running," Jace murmured. "I can feel it, all the fear, all the danger." The alien's glow brightened briefly, then dimmed again like a nod of acknowledgement. Lyra watched, her eyes wide. "It's opening up to you. You're forming a bond stronger than any I've seen. It trusts you completely." Jace looked down at the glowing creature. "And I trust you," he whispered. "I'll protect you, no matter what." For the next few hours, the three of them remained in the canyon, quiet but alert. The alien's pulsing energy gradually synchronized with Jace's heartbeat, creating a rhythm that was almost hypnotic. The bond between them was becoming tangible, a shared understanding that needed no words. "This bond, it's unique," Lyra said finally. "It's rare for a human to connect so completely with one of their kind. It can sense morality, courage, empathy, things that guide survival. You've shown all of them, that's why it's responding to you." Jace nodded slowly, still staring at the alien. "I've faced storms, predators, loneliness. I've survived. But this is different. I feel responsible in a way I never have before. And I think it feels the same about me." Lyra smiled softly. "You're learning what I've always believed. Humanity has something unique. Not just endurance or intelligence, but empathy. The courage to act when others hesitate. That's why we survive and why we can make allies in ways no one else can." Jace looked at her, intrigued. "Allies?" "Yes," she said, standing slowly. "This species, your little friend here, it's not alone. They have a civilization highly advanced, peaceful by nature. But they're being hunted by a militaristic empire, one that doesn't understand mercy or compassion. They're scouts, explorers, messengers, and you've just saved one. That makes you important." Jace's brow furrowed. "Important how?" "Important enough to be targeted," Lyra said quietly. "Hunters may already be close. We have to move it before they arrive. If they find it here, there's no stopping what they'll do." Jace's hands tightened around his knees. "Then we move," he said. "No hesitation, no mistakes. I'll do whatever it takes." They prepared for travel. Lyra packed a small bag of supplies: water, food for both humans and alien, tools for stabilizing the creature, and a few defensive devices. Jace double-checked the canyon walls, scanning for anything that might compromise their safety. The planet outside was harsh, unforgiving, but he felt a surge of confidence. Humans had survived worlds far harsher than this. They could endure, adapt, and protect. The alien stirred again, glowing faintly. Its energy pulsed faster, as if sensing danger. Jace placed a hand gently on its side. "We'll be careful," he whispered. "No one will hurt you while I'm here." As they moved through the canyon, the alien's light cast long shadows on the walls, flickering with every pulse. Jace noticed something remarkable. The bond seemed to extend beyond physical touch. He could sense the alien's intentions, its awareness of the terrain, and even subtle threats in the environment. It was as if the creature was guiding them, helping them navigate the treacherous path ahead. Hours passed, the red sun dipping lower in the sky. The alien's glow was now steady, almost serene, and Jace felt a sense of calm settle over him. They reached the edge of the canyon, where the plains stretched endlessly ahead. The wind was fierce, but they had cover, and Jace's experience allowed him to move with precision, avoiding loose rocks and unstable ground. Then, faint in the distance, they heard it, a low hum, mechanical and steady. Engines. The hunters were close. "They're coming," Lyra whispered. "We need to hurry." Jace glanced down at the alien. Its glow pulsed faster, a warning or maybe encouragement. He nodded. "All right," he said. "Let's move." They sprinted across the rocky plains, Jace holding the alien carefully, Lyra guiding the way. The hunters' engines grew louder, the ground vibrating beneath their feet. Yet, despite the danger, Jace felt a strange exhilaration. He was not just surviving anymore. He was protecting life, bridging worlds, and showing the kind of courage and empathy that made humans remarkable. Finally, they reached a small ridge that overlooked an isolated valley. Lyra pointed to a series of natural caves reinforced with rock formations. "There," she said, "safe for now. We can hide it, stabilize it, and prepare for the next move." Jace carefully laid the alien down inside the largest cave. Its glow pulsed gently, as if acknowledging the temporary safety. Lyra set up protective barriers using energy shields and environmental controls. The cave was secure, and for the first time since finding the alien, Jace allowed himself a moment to breathe. "You did well," Lyra said softly. "It trusts you completely now. That bond, it's not just survival, it's partnership. They sense morality and courage, and you've shown both. That's why you survived the serum and why it will respond to you." Jace looked at the alien, its glow gentle and steady. "I'll protect it," he said quietly. "Always." The alien stirred slightly, raising a small crystalline limb. Its light pulsed once, then twice, and Jace felt it, an almost imperceptible communication. Not words, but understanding, a connection deeper than anything he had ever known. Hours turned to night, the twin moons of Iridia 9 rising above the horizon. The canyon and valley were quiet, but Jace knew danger was never far. Hunters, storms, predators, everything on this planet was a challenge. Yet he felt something new, hope. Humans were resilient. Humans could endure. And humans could protect life no matter how alien, no matter how fragile. And in that quiet cave, glowing softly under twin moons, a human and a tiny alien shared a bond stronger than fear, stronger than pain, and stronger than distance. A bond that would shape the battles yet to come. Jace leaned back against the wall, exhausted but alert. "We'll face them," he whispered to the alien. "Together." The creature pulsed once in response, almost like a heartbeat, steady and sure. And for the first time, Jace felt certain. Humanity could rise to challenges beyond comprehension, not just to survive, but to protect, to connect, and to triumph. The galaxy was dangerous, yes, but humans had something special. Courage, empathy, and the willingness to act. And that was enough. The night air of Iridia 9 was sharp, carrying the scent of dust and minerals across the valley. Jace Corbin crouched in the shadow of the cave, the faint glow of the alien illuminating the rock walls in a soft, soothing light. The alien rested on the synthetic bedding, its crystalline body pulsing slowly, rhythmically, a calming heartbeat in the stillness. But Jace knew the calm wouldn't last. "Hunters," Lyra whispered, her voice tight. She scanned the ridge with binoculars. "They're close. Faster than I anticipated. I can see the engine's heat signatures, maybe 2 kilometers away, closing in." Jace's hands tightened. "How many?" "3," she said, frowning. "Possibly more. They're not just scouts, they're a strike team. They won't hesitate. If they find it here, there's no negotiation." Jace exhaled slowly, squaring his shoulders. "Then we make sure they don't." He glanced down at the alien, its glow dim but steady. "We protect it, whatever it takes." The hunters' engines began to hum louder, vibrations running through the rocky ground. Jace and Lyra moved quickly, preparing the cave for defense. Lyra activated a small set of energy barriers, shimmering shields designed to obscure the entrance and mask heat signatures. They wouldn't stop a determined strike, but they would buy precious time. "Good enough for now," Lyra said, her tone calm but urgent. "We can delay them, maybe confuse them, but we'll need to be smart. They're fast, intelligent, and heavily armed." Jace nodded. "Then we fight smart, not just hard." He reached for his tools, a multi-purpose plasma cutter, a small energy rifle, and a few traps he had improvised from ranching equipment. Years of experience surviving storms, predators, and harsh planets had taught him one thing: human ingenuity could overcome brute force. The first signs of movement appeared at the valley's edge. Shadows stretched long across the plains as the hunters advanced, their mechanical forms glinting under the twin moons. They were sleek, humanoid machines with long limbs and glowing optics. Jace's pulse quickened, but he forced himself to stay calm. Fear was a weakness. They had to rely on skill, knowledge, and strategy. "Ready?" Lyra whispered, checking the alien's vital readings. "Always," Jace replied, steadying his hands. The hunters reached the canyon rim and began descending, engines humming, sensors scanning. Jace and Lyra activated the first of their traps, camouflaged energy nets rigged along the path. A hunter stepped on a trigger, and a sudden shimmer of light wrapped around it, yanking it off balance. Sparks flew, and the creature emitted an angry, mechanical screech. "Nice," Jace muttered, crouching lower. "Keep them coming," Lyra said. "We'll use their momentum against them." The hunters advanced carefully, anticipating the traps, but Jace and Lyra were ready. Rocks rolled, energy nets fired, and improvised explosive charges created flashes of light that disoriented their sensors. Every move was calculated, a dance of human ingenuity against alien precision. The alien stirred in the cave, sensing the battle outside. Its glow brightened, pulsating rapidly as if warning them of danger. Jace placed a hand gently on it. "Stay calm," he whispered. "We've got this." Despite the danger, he felt a surge of pride. Humans were not the strongest species in the galaxy, not by a long shot. But intelligence, courage, and the ability to adapt, those were weapons the hunters had underestimated. A hunter finally broke through the initial defenses, its optics locking on the cave entrance. Jace fired a concentrated pulse from his energy rifle, hitting a reflective panel on the hunter's body. Sparks erupted, and the hunter stumbled, momentarily blinded. Lyra threw a small smoke device, filling the valley with a dense cloud. The hunter slowed, disoriented, giving Jace and Lyra time to move. "Good," Lyra whispered. "Keep it up. They're slower than we are in this terrain. Use that." Jace gritted his teeth. "I've dealt with predators like this before. These machines. Not much different, just less instinct, more logic. And we can outsmart logic." They moved along the ridge, using the alien's glow to guide their steps. The creature seemed to respond to Jace's emotions, almost guiding him where to place traps or when to distract the hunters. The bond they had formed in the canyon now became a tool for survival. One hunter advanced closer, its limbs slicing through the terrain with mechanical precision. Jace rolled a boulder down the slope, striking the hunter with enough force to knock it off balance. Sparks flew, and it let out a harsh metallic shriek. Lyra activated another energy net, catching a second hunter off guard. The hunters were relentless, but human ingenuity was relentless too. Jace and Lyra used every advantage: terrain, traps, camouflage, even the alien's energy pulses to disrupt sensors. Every move was calculated, every action purposeful. Hours passed, or perhaps minutes. It was impossible to tell. The hunters adapted, but so did the humans. They moved as a team, improvising on the spot, turning the rocky canyon into a labyrinth that the hunters could not easily navigate. Then, the hunters regrouped, forming a coordinated attack. Jace knew brute force alone wouldn't stop them now. He had to think ahead. "Lyra," he whispered, "we need a final trap, something they won't expect." She nodded. "I've got just the thing, but it's risky. We'll have to get them close." Jace glanced at the alien. Its glow pulsed rapidly, almost as if sensing his intent. "We can do this," he whispered. For it, they set the trap, a series of collapsing rock formations triggered by precise pressure points. Jace and Lyra lured the hunters closer, retreating strategically, forcing the machines into the canyon's narrow center. The hunters' sensors scanned frantically, unable to anticipate human cunning. Then, at the exact moment, Lyra triggered the final trap. Rocks and debris fell, collapsing the narrow canyon path behind the hunters. They were trapped, immobilized, their engines sparking and whining in frustration. Jace and Lyra exhaled, the tension of the battle washing off them in a wave. The alien stirred, its glow calming, sensing safety. Jace approached it slowly, placing a hand on its side. "It's over," he whispered, "for now." Lyra checked the hunters through a small, remote device. "Disabled for the moment," she said. "They'll need repairs, but they won't be coming after us tonight. We've bought time." Jace sat down on a nearby rock, exhaustion pressing into his bones. "That was close." Lyra smiled faintly. "Too close, but we did it. Humans aren't the strongest, not physically, but our minds, our courage, that's our weapon. That's why we survived tonight. That's why we saved it." Jace looked at the alien, glowing softly in the cave. He realized how fragile it was, yet how much it depended on human intelligence and compassion. For all its power, for all its alien strength, it had survived because humans had acted decisively, courageously, and with care. "You're safe now," Jace whispered to the alien. "I'll protect you. No one can touch you." The creature's glow pulsed once, a gentle rhythm matching his heartbeat. Jace felt a connection stronger than words, stronger than fear or exhaustion. It trusted him, and he trusted it. As the twin moons of Iridia 9 rose high above the valley, Jace realized something profound. Humans were not perfect. They were vulnerable, fragile even, but they could endure. They could adapt. They could protect, outthink, and rise above dangers greater than themselves. And that was why they could survive and thrive where others could not. Lyra crouched beside him, scanning the horizon. "We'll need to move again soon," she said. "This planet, it doesn't forgive weakness, but for now we rest. Tomorrow we plan the next step, we keep it safe, we survive." Jace nodded. "Tomorrow we fight smart again. But tonight we've won." The alien stirred slightly, glowing brighter as if sensing his resolve. Jace smiled faintly. "We'll face whatever comes next," he whispered. "Together." Outside, the valley was quiet. The hunters lay disabled, the wind carried whispers across the plains, and the stars shone cold and distant. Inside, a human, a woman, and a fragile alien shared a moment of hard-earned victory, bound by courage, intelligence, and trust. The galaxy was dangerous. The universe was vast and unforgiving. But humans could endure, protect, and triumph against the odds. And in that quiet moment, Jace knew one thing. No matter what threats awaited them, they would face them together, with courage, ingenuity, and the unshakable bond they had formed. The battle was won. The war was just beginning. The first light of Iridia 9 twin suns stretched across the valley, bathing the rugged plains in red and gold. Jace Corbin stood at the mouth of the cave, the alien resting nearby on its soft bed. Its glow pulsed slowly, calm and steady, a contrast to the chaos of the night before. The hunters had been disabled, at least for now, but Jace knew that danger never truly slept on this planet. Lyra emerged from the cave, her face grim but determined. "We need to move," she said. "The hunters may recover. The longer we stay, the more likely they'll return. There's an outpost east of here, a natural fortress. It's isolated, reinforced, perfect for hiding the alien while it finishes recovering." Jace nodded, adjusting his grip on the alien. Despite its small size, the creature's energy pulsed through him, a steady rhythm he had grown to understand. He could sense its emotions now, its trust and awareness. They were no longer simply protector and protected, they were partners. "Let's move," he said quietly. The journey across the rocky plains was treacherous. Winds whipped up dust storms, sand licked at their faces, and the uneven terrain threatened to trip them at every step. Yet Jace and Lyra pressed on, using all their knowledge of the land to navigate safely. The alien's glow acted as a guide, a living beacon that pulsed brighter or dimmer in response to danger or safety. Along the way, Jace reflected on the bond they had formed. This alien, fragile and otherworldly, had taught him something fundamental. Humans were not defined by size, strength, or numbers. They survived, thrived, and protected life because of courage, ingenuity, and empathy. It was the essence of humanity, and it was enough to face threats far greater than themselves. Suddenly, the ground beneath them trembled. A distant, low hum echoed across the plains. Jace froze, scanning the horizon. "Hunters?" he asked. Lyra shook her head. "No, something else. Larger, faster, definitely not machines." The rumble grew louder and the earth vibrated beneath their feet. From the horizon emerged shapes, towering silhouettes that moved with terrifying speed and precision. Jace squinted, adjusting to the glare of the twin suns. The creatures were massive, sleek, and armored in black chitin. They were predators, biological weapons perfected by evolution. Jace's pulse quickened, but he did not panic. Fear was natural, but humans had something even stronger: quick thinking. "We can't outrun them," he said. "But we can fight smart. Follow me." He led Lyra and the alien toward a narrow canyon where the walls rose high and the terrain narrowed. The predators, massive as they were, could not move easily through such confined space. Jace set up traps along the path. Falling rocks balanced precariously on ledges, tripwires attached to energy nets, and explosive charges hidden beneath dust and stone. "Careful," he muttered, checking each trap. "One mistake and it's over." The alien's glow pulsed rapidly, reacting to the predator's presence. Jace placed a hand gently on its side. "We've got this," he whispered. "Together." The first predator arrived at the canyon entrance, sensing movement. It lunged, powerful limbs tearing at the rock walls. Jace triggered the first trap, and a cascade of boulders tumbled down, blocking the creature's path. Sparks and debris flew, and the predator shrieked in frustration. Lyra activated the energy nets, wrapping the next creature in a shimmering cage of light. The alien's glow intensified, almost as if assisting, synchronizing pulses that interfered with the predator's perception. Jace realized the creature could communicate with them subtly, guiding their actions through instinct and energy. The battle was a test of human cunning versus raw power. Jace rolled boulders into precise positions, triggering them to fall at the exact moment predators charged. Lyra used smoke devices and mirrors to confuse and disorient them. Every move was deliberate, calculated, and executed with precision. Despite their size and strength, the predators were not prepared for humans working in concert with an intelligent alien. Jace's experience surviving harsh worlds gave him an edge. He understood terrain, timing, and leverage. The alien's energy pulses added another layer, enhancing their traps and creating openings for attacks. Hours seemed to stretch as predator after predator fell into the humans' carefully laid defenses. Jace and Lyra did not pause, moving as a seamless unit with the alien guiding them through instinctual cues. The bond they had formed was now more than emotional, it was tactical. Finally, the last predator approached, wary and cautious. Jace planted the final explosive, a combination of kinetic and energy-based traps. The predator lunged, triggering the trap. A controlled explosion rocked the canyon, and the creature was thrown back, stunned and immobilized. The humans held their positions, watching carefully until the threat was neutralized. Breathing heavily, Jace sank against the canyon wall. Lyra checked the alien, who pulsed softly, its glow returning to a calm, steady rhythm. "It's safe now," she said. "For real this time." Jace nodded, looking down at the creature. "We did it. You're safe, I promise." The alien stirred slightly, raising a small crystalline limb toward him. Its glow pulsed gently, a gesture of acknowledgement and trust. Jace felt a wave of emotion, relief, pride, and awe. They had survived against impossible odds. Not through brute strength, but through intelligence, courage, and empathy. That was humanity's greatest weapon. Lyra smiled, brushing dust from her suit. "You realize," she said, "you're more than a rancher now. You're a hero in ways the galaxy doesn't even understand." Jace chuckled softly, though he was still exhausted. "Maybe, but all I did was what anyone would do, protect life." "No," Lyra said firmly. "You did more. You acted when others might hesitate. You took risks, endured pain, and used your mind to overcome threats stronger and faster than you. That's why they'll remember us. That's why the alien species will remember us." Jace looked at the alien, its calm glow casting soft light across the rocky canyon. He understood now. The creature's species would never forget the humans who had saved one of their own, and that was just the beginning. "Time to move," Lyra said. "The outpost isn't far. We can rest there, recover, and plan our next steps. But this proves something. Humans can survive anywhere, and we can make allies where no one else can." Jace nodded, lifting the alien carefully. Its glow pulsed in time with his heartbeat, a living signal of trust and connection. They moved carefully across the rocky terrain, every step measured, every movement deliberate. By midday, they reached the outpost, a series of natural caves reinforced with rocks and shields, isolated and hidden. Inside, the alien was settled on a bed designed for its recovery, with energy monitors and environmental controls set to maintain its health. Jace and Lyra finally allowed themselves a moment to rest. "You know," Jace said, looking at the alien, I never imagined my life would end up like this. Saving aliens, fighting machines and predators, building bonds across the stars. Lyra smiled faintly. Life doesn't always follow the plan we expect. But that's the beauty of humans, we adapt, we endure, and sometimes we rise above even the impossible. The alien stirred, glowing softly, almost as if nodding in agreement. Jace reached out, placing a hand gently on its side. The pulse of its glow matched his heartbeat, steady and reassuring. Hours later, as the twin moons rose above the horizon, a faint shimmer appeared in the sky, an approaching fleet, fast-moving and sleek. Jace and Lyra tensed, but the shimmer was not a threat. It was the alien species. Scouts, arriving to check on the one who had been saved. Jace felt awe as they landed gracefully, shimmering beings stepping out. They approached the cave, examining the alien carefully, then turning their attention to the humans. Their gestures were subtle but their meaning clear, gratitude, respect, and acknowledgement. "You see," Lyra whispered, "this is what courage and compassion create. Humans are not just survivors. We are allies, protectors, guardians. We form bonds that can span species and stars. That's why we endure." Jace smiled, exhausted but proud. "And that's why we'll keep surviving," he said quietly. The alien stirred once more, glowing brightly as if celebrating its return to safety and the recognition of its species. Jace and Lyra watched, knowing that the galaxy was vast, dangerous, and unpredictable. But humanity's strength, courage, and empathy would always shine, no matter the odds. Together, humans and alien prepared for the journey ahead. The threats were far from gone, but they had proven one thing. With courage, intelligence, and compassion, humanity could rise above any challenge. And the bond they had formed would guide them across the stars, creating allies, protecting life, and forging a future filled with hope. Jace looked at the alien and whispered softly, "It's over for now. You're safe." The creature's glow pulsed gently, steady, as if agreeing. Outside, the plains of Iridia 9 stretched endlessly, harsh and unforgiving. But within the cave, hope burned brighter than any threat. Humanity had triumphed, not through strength alone, but through the heart, the mind, and the courage to act when it mattered most. And in that moment, Jace understood something he had always known deep down. Humans were exceptional, capable of surviving, protecting, and thriving, even in a galaxy filled with dangers beyond imagination. They had faced the impossible, endured, and prevailed. And the story was just beginning.